think has a lot
Ladies
of
and
a great org
gentlemen, we are
them as
back.
they move forward.
No, I mean, I think those are all really good shots, right? You think
Game number 2, NA match day number 8. Quick recap. Disguise, Team Falcons, Pioneers, SSG, Oblivion. Here are your scores after game numero uno. Looks like a pretty similar poll to game number 1. So game number 1 finished right kind of by down beast. It looked like a checkpoint pull, but this zone is definitely going to be a hard pull somewhere into checkpoint. So flat, actually, with 2 games where they're basically gifted the zone. So if you didn't see last game, flat went out pretty early, which shouldn't have really happened because they had a nice zone pull for them.
We did have a pro ILS every time.
Oh, sorry. No, they didn't. They got 6. Nano went out pretty early. Sorry, I should correct myself. Nano went out pretty early, but they did manage to get 6 points. So hopefully this game they can pull through. Another consistent game for them. With the zone pulling to you, it's always nice because you don't have to rotate, less risk that way, but keep in mind running out of heals and ammo is a real big issue if you don't get a chance to fight a team and like full reset off death boxes, which does happen quite often. So Frexes and the boys, our first team eliminated last game, is going to be hitting Beacon, try and figure out their safest rotation. We heard some frustration last game after getting eliminated by the zone pull and how it was forcing them into another team. But I don't really believe they were 100% forced to it. It was kind of an awkward fight, kind of a hard situation to read without a doubt. But I don't believe they were forced to it. I feel like they could have disengaged a little quicker. But this game, it looks like they're opting to do that. Adjusting is a big thing, especially when you have 6 games to play. Realizing, hey, we don't actually need to force ourselves into that position. There's different ways for us to play this. So really well done by them for kind of recognizing it and making that adjustment for the second game. Because they are getting a very similar ring. So for them to realize and now play it differently is a very good thing for them to identify, good adjustment for them to make, especially when you're playing these games. Sometimes it's really hard to recognize these things. Obviously, as a spectator, it's always easy to say, oh, you should do this, this is the information, blah, 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 blah. But as a player, seeing those in-game while concentrating on trying to frag and team fights and all that is a lot more difficult. So kudos to Frexes and the boys. I hope they have a really clean game this time. Looks pretty standard. Doesn't look like anyone's fighting too hard yet. Just more distance shots. G7 scouts flying everywhere. DSG feeling confident, almost on triple purple already. That's really good for them. Hopefully enemy can get some frags today. They're in first place right now after 1 game. But like I said, after the last game, they don't actually need big frag games now. For the rest of the day, if they can average like 10 points over 10 points a game for the next 5 games, they basically guarantee themselves like a top 3 finish kind of thing, which would be really good for them. See teams following similar rotations to the last game as well as a general rule, because that zone is so close. So obviously with everyone always dropping in the same spaces, typically they're taking the same pass if you have a zone that pulls like that.
Oh, we're good. Holy shit.
Wouldn't be surprised to see some of the teams rotating in, hit some more player scans, stuff like that, seeing what's free. As we can see, checkpoint is quickly filling up. It can be really difficult to get through some of the chokes into checkpoint, so teams, especially with this, want to get there soon, because you have, what, I believe it's 5 entries to the entirety of checkpoint. But if you think about after ring 3, how much those zones hurt, you don't really have a choice, right? If there's a team holding you at one of those chokes, you have to fight them. You fight them or die to zone, so might as well give your chance yourself a chance to get some KP or something
not
like
good.
that. Get a little
Go.
skirmishy.
There's a team in the building on our right, Sauce.
Get a little
Like, in one of
greasy.
those buildings.
So we will see some teams do that this game without a doubt.
We had space on our back to do things like negative rotate rise. We have to wrap around the spiders though. We can't go left or we're just gonna get shot.
Yeah, I agree with Naughty here. Really good call. They have the time now, so now's the time for them to make these big moves, right? Because they're not forced into checkpoint yet. They know they will be at a later time, but now is the time you want to take space or figure out which is the best choke to try and push through, what angles you want to play as a team to avoid being forced into these teams. So, interesting from Naughty here. I'm actually surprised he wouldn't take the Hemlock over the 30-30. I think Hemlock is a lot stronger gun in literally every single way. Basically same range requirements, but much faster time to kill on the Hemlock and way more versatile. So, little min-maxing opportunity for Naughty and the boys here. But looks like they're going to play this egg until next zone. Keep in mind, we've seen a lot of teams get punished at this egg. Last week, we saw 2 teams get punished at this egg. This morning in Europe, we saw 1 team get punished at this egg. This egg is awful. Sometimes it's your only option, but it is absolutely atrocious to fight at this egg. I hate this egg with every fiber of my being. So, in your own games, if you're in scrims or ladder, try not to anchor this egg too much. It's really, really easy to push. It basically has a whole entire side of it open. You have 2 doors. It's easily climbable, easily nadeable, with nothing to protect you from those nades. So try and avoid that egg unless it's your kind of last beacon of hope. Snipe Down and Native Gaming are going to be rotating in zone here. They do have triple perk going for them, which is pretty good. And they are decent on meds, it looks like, so they don't feel
we just need to hope that
too
one of these
rushed
buildings are,
as well.
these buildings completely taken.
And they're trying to figure out which buildings are best for them to play.
Keep going straight. I'm wrapping this backside. Yes, keep going straight.
They may have a team fairly close to them. Keep in mind, it is still 20 squads.
Popping a mech here.
So that may cause some problems. Now, one thing I think CCE could do a little bit better with their playstyle is going for earlier purples. They are very campy, but I find most games I watch CCE, they are stuck on triple blue kind of going into later games. So obviously these players are insanely talented and skilled, but when you're putting yourselves as a team 75 less armor than other teams, kind of like an instant disadvantage and a little bit hard to work with. My streams are a little laggy, so I'm just gonna take away a POV here. Nothing against Snipe Down. Just kind of on the edge. I want to look at a little more center teams. So Stallions are fighting, it looks like. Abe gonna get a chance to reset, and that bang! Overcommit. I'm not sure. That guy looked a little bit lost, to be honest. That guy overcommitted really, really hard. Gonna get punished for it. Absolutely. Was that Naughty and C9? Wow, that was Naughty and C9 going out super early, and Elevate coming in for the cleanup as well. Oh my god, so much just happened in so little time. C9 going down, Stallions going down, and E8 coming out on top. E8s are really happy with how that played out, and they will pick up some early KP. Not the greatest zone position unless it pulls back, which I don't believe it does. But we will find out here. Yes, it is a hard checkpoint. I knew it. So, they got some early points, but now they're not going to be too happy. And it looks like it pulls to the hill of checkpoint. So it's not going to be on the high ground or the low ground. Here's NRG. I was hoping to see one of their POVs, but last I checked, they weren't live. We can check after this game to see if one of them has started streaming. But an important day for them. I love Fun and Knock, one of my favorite duos. So I really hope it goes well for them. And I think they had a fairly quiet
I'm not sure
game
they're
1.
wise to it,
I
though.
don't
They might
remember
just be
seeing
looking
them
out
in
for
like the
themselves.
top
Saying,
8.
"Let's
I
just get
could
up,
be wrong.
Get out of this choke.
Let's double
And
check.
That's exactly what will happen.
No,
They'll
they
run
finished
under
15.
CTE, and
So
SSG
really,
will
really
just
hope
slowly
NRG
wave
can have a
zone.
bit of a
And
stronger game,
look what Alienware's
but they
right
are
behind them,
getting
too. What is
mirrored.
this? A shot
Definitely
line?
getting mirrored.
Whoa, whoa, there's a double mirror going on. NRG is being mirrored by SSG, and SSG is being mirrored by Alienware. This could go really bad for SSG, because SSG might kind of take shots at NRG here, thinking their back is safe, and then Alienware just rinses them. They saw him healing, and now they're making too much noise, so they're going to be aware of this fight. And Yanya gonna go. Wow. T-Law gets absolutely rinsed. Jesus Christ. They should not have lost the fight that hard. They made too much noise early, number 1. And number 2, they took the worst swing available to them. Really rare mistake from T-Law. Usually you don't see Yanya make mistakes like that. Yanya is a very, very accomplished, very good player. So surprised to see that. But now NRG fighting, and we do have a knock on NRG. Reptar has gone down. Hopefully they get a chance to reset here. Knock trying to shoot for fun. Not getting too much value from it. Hopefully in the chaos these other two teams fight hard. Hopefully Fun and Reptar can crawl, but Knock is now getting shot by another team on height. Maybe he's... Actually, that spot he was just crouched in isn't terrible. Not a lot of angles. He's fairly safe there, but he is going to have to rat it out. And looks like Disguised was involved in that mess. In the meantime, Frexes and the boys have gone down. Another quiet game from them. Designful going to be fighting. Was that Knock he was fighting? I'm not entirely sure. But we still have a couple POVs alive. We still have Hal alive. That's the team on high ground. And we have E8 and Zach Mazer still alive. But they've got a long way to rotate still. And Zone is moving in 1 minute. So they are going to have to hard commit to this fight. Because the longer it takes, the worse for them. Let's hop on board here and see how they work this. Looks like they will be fighting Luxfordium, boys. I think...
Yeah, I'm worried about this ring. Good call. I broke this hero.
Yo, they really, I'm not even kidding, they need to fuse ult the back side of this tunnel and ape. I'm not kidding. There's no other option here. There is no other option. You die to zone.
When the silence ends, I think you guys just do it.
The longer it goes, the worse it is. You can't keep resetting like this. You cannot. You cannot. You need to be very decisive.
We have to go.
Come on. They know they have to go. They're saying it. Now they just need to do it. Yes, yes, yes. Good zip for the reduced damage. Nice! He needs to ult this. He needs to ult this. You're probably going to die after this fight.
Swinging.
You need to just... Yeah, commit. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go, Mazer. Yes! Yes! Insta-res. Insta-res. Insta-res now. Insta-res now.
Look, we need a zip up.
Yes.
We need a zip up to get out. Find an ult excel for him.
He needs ult excel, but they cannot find.
Drop him. We have to use a zip. Listen, we're
Yo, you have ult excel.
We're zipping
He
like
needs.
psychos.
He
Our
needs
only
now.
way, they're gonna be holding the
Yes, come on, Mazer. Come on, Mazer. Let's go, baby.
I'm on HP. I died in knuckle cluster, man. Fuck, man. I get medkit off, and then we
Just
have to
so
go.
doomed.
Listen, you guys
Such
have
a
to
hard
zip out,
rotation
like
for them
force
to
rock.
make. Honestly,
Smoke
they
ourselves.
were able to execute and make the right call on that first team, even though it was a little slow. And now they're in a really tough spot. Maybe if they can triple play this rock, they can get some KP. Yeah. You're not playing for first. Play for KP. You're not playing for first. Oh, just dies to zone. Really, really unfortunate.
Slayer set down zone. They're dying in the ring. They're dying to ring. Give him a knock.
And that's all for Zach Mazer. Maybe the boys can rat it out a little bit. But Oblivion looks like they're on the other side of that. Still stuck on blue and down to a single player. Not really good for them either. And Trev Stacks is now on purple. Still on the high ground somewhere. And Falcon's still alive as well. Falcon's getting some KP on the backside too. I believe that was Blink that they just killed. But now the stream is buffering. No. Don't buffer.
Build.
Just
Build
give
40.
me the show.
Blue armor's here.
We can kill the building team.
Yeah, calling out more blue armors. This is why it's so bad to have blue armors in late game, because everybody has triple red and they will absolutely run you down. These players are not afraid to take a skirmish, especially if it gives them agency on the zone. Nasty shots from Imperial How. And Zero will be in there. He's going to see that knock and he's going to want to punish this team. Oh, a little bit of a rewind on the stream. Not quite up to date. And looks like they have taken this building and got some more KP. Maybe it was flat in that building. But Trevstax and CCE still alive. We get enough Falcons POV. So I'm actually going to pause the Falcons POV because we see a lot of their gameplay. And I want to hop on board here with CCE. See what they can make happen. Trev a little late. A little late coming, and he's going to get damaged for it. That's going to put him like 3 or 4 seconds behind his teammates. Taking a lot of damage coming in. Don't forget, Danny's still on blue. This is a part of the game you do not want to have blue armor. I don't know. This is a kind of a shallow bangled. I would have liked to see him take more space. You can also wall farther up. Yeah, they need to be walking up. They need to be taking space. The bangle here would have gone absolutely nuts. It was a little too early, a little too shallow. And they had a lot of potential from that position. That team has to fight. That team's going to have to fight. They might be able to hit this res. Hit this res. Hit this res. Ladies and gentlemen, CCE a little delayed. They are going to get it off, and they do have Rampart Gun, which will be nice if this team has to come out of this tree. I'd like to see them take a little more space up to this plant with the balls at the base of it. They need to take ball plant, so this team can't push the left. That's why you take the ball plant. And they're going to be absolutely pinned in this corner, and their walls are going to get team shot. Really nice movement from that kid around the wall. That might actually be Falcons. And damn, I actually really liked CCE's position there. It was actually super, super playable, to be honest. A little bit of a misplay from CCE there. So we will be back on board with Falcons. 4 teams, all full. Falcons with a chance to full reset. CCE giving Falcons a window there, and Falcons is a team that's going to take advantage of that every single time. I don't want to sound like a glazer, but I mean, come on. Like, Falcons is the team that notices these things and takes advantage, right? If they were at this ball player where Jen Burton is right now, there would have been no space. There would have been no opportunity for Falcons. Surprise, Zero's getting knocked there. Really sloppy from him. And Hal's eating nades, and now they're going to get swung, it looks like. A little bit sloppy there. A little bit sloppy. I think that was still a playable position, to be honest. And Falcons will be eliminated. Our last POV here is going to be the mainstream, so we're going to hop on board. Furia sitting pretty on high ground. And it almost ends on them. They might have to drop at the very end, but they have a fuse. The zone is going to be so small, and the fuse spam is going to give them the most opening damage they could possibly want. Jen Burton stuck as a rat again. But I don't think Jen Burton's going to be able to make the world happen. And he is eliminated. Now Furia dropping down a little earlier than they needed to. But they do take good angles on the drop. Notice how none of them dropped together. They dropped on 3 different angles, allowing them to team shoot from different angles, not giving the enemy any opportunity. And this should be wraps, but he gets knocked. Oh my god. Almost went south for Furia. Keon on 1 bullet, but manages to clutch it out. Nice finish from Furia. I think they could have stayed a little longer, but the way they dropped down was so well executed. I mean, think about it, guys. You triple drop in 1 stack. You're all stuck in the same place. Can't pull out your gun. You are going to get rinsed. But but they dropped playing 3 different angles, and those angles were educated. They knew where the other players were, so it allowed them to team shoot multiple angles. They're dropping behind players as well, not in front of them. So really, really well executed on that drop by Furia, and they do get the win for it. Madness will be over the moon with that one. Really, really happy, I bet. And that will give us the conclusion to Game 2. Furia, first place, 9 kills. SSG with a clean game. Phony and the boys, 8 kills, 17 points. Team Falcons, going to be third, 16 points, 9 kills. Most hated, 4th place, 6 points, only 1 kill on most hated. That is not what you want from a top 4 placement. CCE, 0 kills, 5th place. I honestly think CCE could have had like a top 3-6 kill game here. They just did not take enough space, playing a little too passively. They allowed Falcons that space on the left to basically walk up and punish them for it. They have those rampart walls. Placing those rampart walls on that bulb tree versus where they did is no different. You have that rampart gun out a little earlier, you swing left, they can't run into you. Like, you immediately remove that team's options. So CCE and the boys calling the zone well, playing patiently in the mid game, but at the end game, they needed to kind of hear those dinner bells, see that green light, but a little bit of a missed opportunity for them. So hopefully they can kind of talk about that regroup for game number 3. NRG, 2 kills, 9th place. NRG kind of needs a good day today. That's a big favorite of mine, but overall they're in 13th, only 6 points after 2 games, so they're going to need to be a little more consistent if they want those playoff points, and boy do they need them. So at the end of 2, we have Falcons first place, 33 points, 19 kills. Furia, after that win, taking second place, 27 points, 14 kills. Tied with SSG, also at 27 points. But the decider here is Furia has a first place finish and SSG only has a second. So Furia actually has the second place over SSG. But it is a tight race still, and there's still 4 games to play. DSG, our game 1 winners with 21 points, only going to get a single point in that second game, and they are going to finish at 22. And Flat coming up in 5th place, 15 points total. Now, that does not shock me at all. Flat finished 7th there with 6 kills. None of this information shocks me. They've had a really, really good zone pull for them 2 games in a row. So that's kind of to be expected. So that wraps up game 2, and I'll see you guys for game number 3.